Everyone's always furious. New Star Trek actor Section 31 tease shows exactly why Michelle Yeoh's movie is so exciting. When Michelle Yeoh first stepped into the world of Star Trek Discovery as Captain Philippa Georgiou, few could have predicted the seismic impact her dual performances would have on the franchise. From the noble Prime Universe Georgiou to her ruthless, sharp-tongued mirror counterpart, the Empress who joined Starfleet against all odds, Yeoh delivered one of the most layered, unpredictable characters in modern Trek. Now with the upcoming Star Trek Section 31 movie officially moving forward, every tease, every behind-the-scenes whisper, and every cast announcement adds fuel to the hype. And thanks to one of the new actors joining the project, we've just gotten a hint about the tone fans can expect. According to them, everyone's always furious in Section 31. While that may sound like chaos, it's actually the perfect reason to be excited about Michelle Yeoh's cinematic return. Because if there's one thing Star Trek has rarely leaned into, it's the raw fury that lurks just beneath its utopian ideals. And that's exactly why Section 31 feels like it could be the most daring Star Trek movie in decades. The legacy of Section 31, Starfleet's shadowy mirror. Section 31 has always been one of the most fascinating and controversial elements of Star Trek. First introduced in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the secret organization operated outside Federation law, using espionage, manipulation, and assassinations to maintain order in ways Starfleet would never admit publicly. Where DS9 hinted at its morally gray existence, Enterprise gave us glimpses of its origins, and Discovery outright thrust Georgiou into its ranks. The organization has become the perfect narrative foil to Starfleet's shining optimism. Section 31 forces the franchise to ask hard questions. What lines are worth crossing to protect a utopia? Can peace be preserved without occasionally embracing darkness? And if someone like Georgiou, once an empress, conqueror, and murderer, can find a place within it, what does that say about redemption? It's messy, morally complicated storytelling. And if one actor's tease about everyone being furious is true, it means the film won't shy away from embracing that intensity. Michelle Yeoh's secret weapon, controlled chaos. Michelle Yeoh is no stranger to balancing chaos with poise. Her career has spanned everything from martial arts epics like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon to heartfelt dramas like Everything Everywhere All at Once, which earned her an Academy Award. In Discovery, her mirror Georgiou was sharp, sarcastic, and deadly, a constant reminder that even when she was helping Starfleet, she was always one step away from betraying it. Yet Yeoh gave her depth, layering her ruthlessness with wit, vulnerability, and even affection for Michael Burnham. That blend of fury and control makes her the perfect lead for a Section 31 film. If everyone's always furious, Georgiou is the one character who can not only thrive in that chaos, but weaponize it. She doesn't just survive political games, she dominates them. Why fury fits Section 31 perfectly. The idea of constant fury in Star Trek may sound jarring, especially for a franchise that prides itself on optimism and cooperation. But in truth, Section 31's premise demands it. Think about it. These are spies, assassins, and operatives working in the shadows. They make choices no Starfleet captain could ever sign off on. Their missions are brutal, urgent, and filled with ethical compromises. Of course, everyone's furious. They're furious at Starfleet for pretending Section 31 doesn't exist. Furious at themselves for the blood on their hands. Furious at the enemies who never stop threatening the Federation. And that fury makes for great drama. It creates tension in every conversation, mistrust in every alliance, and stakes in every mission. In other words, it's the emotional powder keg that will set Section 31 apart from every other Star Trek movie. A franchise in need of boldness. Let's be honest, Star Trek's film history has always been uneven. For every Wrath of Khan, there's a Star Trek nemesis. For every Star Trek 2009 that reinvigorates the franchise, there's a Star Trek Into Darkness that divides the fanbase. What's consistent, though, is that Star Trek films succeed when they take risks. Wrath of Khan leaned into mortality and revenge. First Contact went dark with the Borg. The Voyage Home gave us time travel comedy about whales. Section 31 has the chance to do something equally bold. Create a Star Trek movie that fully embraces espionage, fury, and moral ambiguity. Instead of another mission where the Enterprise saves the day, this could be the franchise's first true spy thriller, part Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, part Mission Impossible, but with Star Trek's heart beating underneath. The ensemble factor. While Yo is undoubtedly the star, the actor's comment about everyone being furious also suggests the ensemble cast will be unlike anything Star Trek has done before. Imagine a crew where every operative has their own agenda, their own grudges, and their own scars. This isn't a harmonious bridge crew bound by Federation ideals. It's a volatile team forced to work together while barely keeping their anger in check. The friction itself becomes the story. And if history has taught us anything, Star Trek ensembles thrive on conflict. DS9 gave us Sisko clashing with the Dominion. Voyager balanced Starfleet officers and Maquis rebels. Even the Next Generation, as polished as it was, had episodes where Worf, Riker, and Picard butted heads. But Section 31? This is that conflict dialed up to 11. What furious means for the tone. Tone is everything in a Star Trek project. Too dark, and you risk alienating fans who expect optimism. Too light, and you lose the gravitas of the story. But Everyone's Furious gives us a hint that the Section 31 movie will strike a unique balance. Not hopeless, not nihilistic, but filled with passion, rage, and urgency. Think of it this way, while traditional Star Trek asks, what's the right thing to do? Section 31 might ask, what happens when doing the right thing is impossible? The fury comes from living in that impossible space, where every decision has blood on it. And for fans craving Star Trek that challenges the status quo, that's thrilling. Michelle Yeoh as the franchise's anchor. It can't be overstated how much Michelle Yeoh's presence elevates this film. Not only is she a global star with immense range, but she also gives Star Trek something it desperately needs, a cinematic anchor. While the Kelvin timeline movies centered on Chris Pine's Kirk, those films are in limbo. While the streaming shows thrive, they're serialized for television. Yeoh's Georgiou gives Paramount the chance to build a new cinematic chapter around a character audiences already love and fear. And because Yeoh has proven she can handle high-wire action, emotional vulnerability, and sly humor, she's the perfect lead for a movie where everyone's always furious. She doesn't just survive that fury, she embodies it. Why fans should be excited? At the end of the day, the phrase, everyone's always furious, might seem like a throwaway joke from a cast member. But it reveals something crucial. This isn't going to be a safe, traditional Star Trek movie. Instead, it's going to be messy, intense, furious. And in that fury lies the potential for one of the most unique Star Trek films ever made. Michelle Yeoh is stepping into a role where she can finally unleash the full range of Georgiou's fury, wit, and complexity. Section 31 will shine a light on the Federation's darkest corners. And for fans who have been craving bold, daring Star Trek storytelling, that's exactly why this movie is so exciting.